It's time for the insane, the honest, and the profane with your host, Brandon Combs.
Jed Hoyer has been a coward as a GM. He doesn't go out and he doesn't make the big splash signings. He doesn't spend the money in the right places. But then I don't let Craig Counsell off the hook because, yes, did he get put in a bad spot with this rotation by Jed Hoyer? Absolutely. But then you didn't put those guys that you did have in a position to succeed in the playoffs.
And Ryan Fitzgibbons.
I mean, if he's just as good as Justin Fields, it's probably the worst draft pick in the history of Bears football. It probably is. And one of the worst draft picks in the history of the NFL.
It's Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk, right here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
And welcome to Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk. It's your boy, Brandon Combs, along with my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons. Fitzy, what's going on, brother?
That comment might end up biting me in the ass.
You think so? Just a little bit?
Yeah. Justin Fields minus 10 yards, basically passing total.
Yeah.
Last week, and Caleb Williams, to me, another gritty performance. We can get into it, but that comment might come back to haunt me, so we might have to change. Although you did play the comment that the Sox were going to win the division for like a year.
I did. I mean, because sometimes you have to have fun with yourself,
100.
right? Like sometimes you have to make fun of yourself because sometimes you make predictions, sometimes you swing and you hit a home run. Sometimes you swing and you miss, which happens a lot in baseball nowadays, right?
Why it's the best reality show in the world. Sports are. Especially, I think baseball is the best, but because it's very unpredictable.
Yeah. And look, there's a lot of stuff for us to get into today, right? We're going to get into the baseball playoffs. Shohei Ohtani did something that nobody's ever done in the history of baseball the other night. He was phenomenal, but there's a gross overreaction to what he did. And we'll get into that here in just a few minutes as well. We're going to talk Bears. We're going to talk plenty of football. We're going to get into all of that stuff. I did have the Rams team total over 24.5 today, which I'm kind of sweating out now. It looked really good in the first half, and now I'm like, oh, can we just put one more touchdown on the board or what? And then I had the Jacksonville Jaguars team total under 19.5, so that looks good right now. But look, man, I want to get into a couple of things, and let's start with the Cubs, right? Because Jed Hoyer had his end of season press conference. I don't know if you got to listen to any of it, but I endured the entire 48 minutes.
Oh, I did not get. I got sound bites, not the 48 minutes. Yikes!
Well, I got 4.5 minutes into it before I wanted to punch him in the face.
Wow. That's not bad. That's a little longer than I would have given you. That's my over. That would definitely hit my over.
It's not the fact that he was non-committal into how much money they were going to spend or into what players they were going to look at, which you never expect a GM to talk about that type of stuff. Anyway, my problem is sometimes the comments that he makes. Like that was he really wants to be Theo Epstein. Like he wants people to think of him as the smartest baseball guy in the room every time that he's in the room. And I do believe Jed Hoyer is a smart baseball man. I really do.
Me too.
Sometimes he says stuff and it makes you like it makes you scratch your head because it's like, Jed, what are we doing here? Like you can't sit there and tell people and you tell the fans and you've said this before, Jed Hoyer, where we can't base our stuff off of what other teams are doing, which I completely agree. I completely agree with that. But then you can't, in the same sentence, when asked about did the trade deadline and the inactivity at the trade deadline hurt this team in the playoffs, you can't go with, well, nobody else got pitching either at that point.
No.
You can't have, because first of all, other teams did get pitching. Other teams did get pitching. And Mason Miller, yes, did they get the third best prospect in all of baseball for Mason Miller? Sure. But are you telling me that you couldn't have packaged something that was a little bit more enticing for Mason Miller? Are you telling me that you couldn't do? I mean, the pitchers. I can't remember his name. The pitcher from Arizona that went for basically nothing. Are you telling me that you couldn't have given up basically nothing to go and get that pitcher? That would have helped this rotation at the deadline. Now, look, I understand Cade Horton. You know, when it comes to the big pitchers, the big name pitchers, they were asking for guys like Cade Horton and Matt Shaw, and those guys were pretty good down the stretch for you. But those are still moves you should have made. Those are still moves that you make for those pitchers, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to win now. This notion that you have to worry about the 2034 Cubs as much as you have to worry about the 2025 Cubs is a joke. It's such a bad look for you as a GM, and fans, they don't care about the 2034 team. I don't know if I'm going to be around to watch the 2034 team, because you might give me a heart attack before then.
The way I've treated my body.
Yeah. And so I
my brain. My body might make it. My brain. I'm not sure.
The notion that the Cubs and that Jed Hoyer is that guy, but that's who he is. And I've said it before. I don't think that the guy is a bad guy. I don't think he is. I do think he's a smart baseball guy. I just think when it comes to being a GM and when it comes to making those big moves, those risky moves, Jed Hoyer's a coward.
He is, and I agree with you. I think he is a smart baseball guy. I think they put a great, like we've said before here, I think they put a great baseball community together. I think the way they draft and the way they think forward, it was revolutionary a little bit in baseball, even though they took from a lot of different things, which a lot of people do. They took from a lot of different solutions that baseball has put together, a lot of little different innovations. They really sucked a lot out of Moneyball and Billy Bean's theories over there that weren't really Billy Bean's to begin with. And a lot of good smart people do that. They know what smart is. Jeremiah treats Chicago like a dumb fan base. That doesn't work in Chicago because the fans are smart about sports. Jerry does the same thing. It really is. It does smack a lot of Jerry Reinsdorf. Jerry Reinsdorf ruined this entire fan base for things like this. Combs Jr. might have the comment of the day already. We're 7 minutes in. Keep eating pasta like you do, Dad, and you might not. But just getting on to my point.
You're talking like that, and you might not.
Rim shot, I guess. Anyway, Jed Hoyer just can't keep going down this road and acting like too many GMs, especially I feel like in this city, get stuck in a time capsule. Like Kenny Williams was stuck in late 90s, early 2000s, because he actually was a good GM in that time capsule. Jed Hoyer is stuck in the 2010s to 2018. He's in that time capsule, and he's not really changing with the times. This is more of a pitching sport now than it was in 2010. Look at the numbers. Averages keep going down. Strikeouts keep going up, and it keeps happening. I mean, and this is a cyclical game, until it comes back. That's what it is. And he's still focused on position players. I'm sorry. The teams that are in it now are the teams that can pitch. And I know the Dodgers have hit well, but they've also pitched incredibly. They're probably the best pitching team in the playoffs right now. And they're going to win another World Series. And we're going to start talking dynasty then. I mean, and you're going to be left in the background. And like you said, You're wasting Dansby Swanson. I know he's not great, but you're wasting that contract. He's not going to be the same player next year or the year after. You're wasting Ian Happ. Ian Happ isn't already not the same player he was before. You're wasting some of these contracts. You wasted a year of Kyle Tucker. I know it wasn't a great year, but it was a good enough to be good in this lineup. You are wasting some of these years of some of these players, and your window is going to shut just like the White Sox window shut. Maybe not exactly how the White Sox window shut. I've never seen a window shut like that before, but that's what's going to happen. And it's angering because we see this happen to team after team after team. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Jeremiah says Kenny just kept reacquiring Robbie Alomar. I mean, that's not far from the truth either.
And Kenny Jr. and Manny Ramirez.
And then Junior says, when we talk football, come back to the comment the Patriots are going 12-5. What's this we shit? Just wondering.
Oh my God. Leading with an iron fist there.
Yeah, just this, this father-son rivalry that we've got.
Yeah,
right now.
It's getting weird.
Look, I just don't. It's going to be interesting, right? Because another thing that he was talked about, and this is something that I've talked about, and you and I have actually had this conversation quite a bit on this show, is does what the Cubs are spending have anything to do with the fact that there is a possible lockout coming and that the collective bargaining agreement is up? And he kind of danced around that answer a little bit. He kind of danced around it, and he kind of said no, but kind of didn't waver, because the Cubs past this year, past 2026, they don't have anything on the books. And in about 2 or 3 times in that press conference, Jed Hoyer talked about having clean books. Now, I don't know that clean books is something that you really want to rest your hat on. I don't know that.
Wow.
No, and not having, I think that there are a few players that the Cubs have to go out and they have to talk extensions with, right? You have to extend PCA. You have to extend Nico Horner. You have to extend you probably have to extend Michael Bush, I would say, at this point, and probably Matt Shaw. So those are the guys that I think that the Cubs need to start talking extension with. Now, beyond that, when you're talking about free agency, I mean, God, there's you have got to make extension. And see, this is why this kid, man, extend Ian Happ. I will punch you in the throat. If they extend Ian Happ, I'm punching you in the throat. Because Ian Happ, he is my Ian Happ and Shota Imanaga. Shota Imanaga, who is also, the Cubs have an option. Imanaga has an option. I think the Cubs opt out. I'm not paying Imanaga what the Cubs originally put in that contract. I'm opting out if I'm the Cubs. Not the way that he pitched over the second half of this past season. Because originally that looked like a good contract, right? Like originally that looked like a good contract, and now it just kind of looks like, I don't know that I would pay that. And if I'm the Cubs, and if the Cubs are smart, they spend that money elsewhere. They spend that money on pitching somewhere else.
Club option 17. Well, club option, conditional club option. Weird. 20 million.
Yeah.
20 million. Conditional club option for 2026. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, 31 home runs doesn't do it for you, and then the home runs in the postseason, strikeouts, home runs win postseason games. They just do. Almost every year they do. Look at the Shohei Ohtani game. Struck out a lot of people, hit a lot of home runs. Dodgers win. But for the most part, that's what happens. He gave up key home runs in the playoffs too. You don't have to. He is an innings eater, though. He is a very good regular season pitcher because of that. You need guys to eat up innings. So if you do fill in with him, yeah, can you get a guy for half the price that's just as good, maybe better, and can actually strike out people? Maybe, probably 10 for 10 or 15 million. But that's where you got to make the calculation. You don't have to extend PCA. I mean, I don't think you have to. You have another 5 years with him. What are you extending him for?
You need to go out because you need to get that extension done before the collective bargaining agreement is over. Because then you're going to have, I guarantee you, after this collective bargaining agreement, you are going to have a floor and you are going to have a cap. I don't see any way around that. And if you have a floor and you have a floor for a player, the number's going to go up on PCA. He's a first 30-30 guy in your organization. Say what you want about the second half of his season and the strikeout. He's a first 30-30 guy in your organization. In an organization that included Andre Dawson and Sammy Sosa and Ryan Sandberg. None of those guys ever went 30-30. Yes, you have to do this extension and you have to do it now. And you want to lock him up for the long term because you're probably, yes, you're going to have to pay a little bit more now, probably. And if he has a bad year next year, you could probably get him at a cheaper price. But with the way that it's going to go, and you don't know which way it's going to go after the clay, but if it goes the way that I expect it to go, which is the floor and the ceiling, numbers for guys like PCA are only going to go up.
I don't know about that. I think if they have more of a salary cap, which baseball players are going to strike for, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I think, because the big name baseball players, baseball union, one of the strongest union in sports, one of the best unions in the history of the human race. And it's not like football where you like have Robbie Gould as your union rep. Bryce Harper is your union rep. Like those guys rap hard in baseball. And
Bryce Harper almost beat up the commissioner over this.
Yes, exactly. That's where I was going. Yeah. And because of the salary cap, but if there is a salary cap, I think you might see salaries go down, and I don't know. I'm guessing he's going to be grandfathered in. These rookie contracts cannot be 6, 7, 8 years long. That's just pretty insane. What is it? 6 years now? Guy comes out of, AAA and he's 22, 23. And then by the time he's 29, everybody's saying he's old. No one's going to get a big contract anymore. I'm just worried about PCA because I see a good half season. I've seen that before.
Yeah, but see, I think you're going to end up with an NBA type structure. I do.
That contract.
I think you're going to end up with an NBA type structure, and I think that he's going to end up being one of those guys who gets a max deal.
Here's my thing.
You want to pay a max deal for him, though?
The Cubs acted like a team that has the money that the Cubs have. I'd be fine with it. But they don't act like that.
Yeah.
They act like penny pushers, and I don't want them to get into a contract where they're paying this kid $20 million a year and he's hitting 10 home runs a season and striking out 200 times. I don't want to see that because that's kind of what he does not project as a 31 home run hitter. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He does not. It's the same thing that they did with, and it was a different organization. It was a different ownership. It was a different GM. It's the same thing they thought about with Derek Lee. Derek Lee hit 35, 40 home runs. They thought he was a home run hitting first baseman. He never was. He never was in his entire career and in the minor leagues, and neither is PCA. A left-handed hitting center fielder is huge and does, I think, deserve $20 million a year. If he does, I guess, hit 15 home runs a year. I'm talking in circles now. But
you talk yourself out of PCA while talking yourself into PCA.
He's not a 30 home run hitter in my mind. But if they think $20 million a year for a guy who's a left-handed hitter in center field that plays a great center field and hits 15 to 28 home runs a year is good enough for them, I think I agree with that. He goes any below that, though, and you're going to have a really bad contract on your hand with a team that has acted like a cash trap, second tier team, which they're not.
Well, we're gonna see what they do in this offseason, and then we're gonna have more conversations about it as we go. I don't want to spend too much time on this team that fan base is crying about an L flag being flown while their team is losing, and now they want to throw L flags out there when the Brewers are losing, even though the Brewers are playing the ALCS and you're not, or NLCS and you're not. It drives me nuts. This fan base sometimes can drive me nuts. I love them to death, but sometimes get over it. Anyway, I want to talk Shohei Ohtani real quick before we get into football.
Okay.
Shohei Ohtani the other night, the Dodgers clinched. Shohei Ohtani strikes out 10, I believe, went 6 innings pitched, and hit 3 home runs. One of them, I think, left out. I think it might actually still be orbiting the Earth as we speak, because that ball was annihilated. Are you in the camp? Because I think there's a gross overreaction. I got my guy Tilo out there who has been posting, we had this bet on the Cubs. Actually, there's a bet that he put out that I got dragged into somehow, but I paid it off anyway. But he thinks that Shohei Ohtani, and he tweeted out that Shohei Ohtani is the greatest player of all time. I think it's a gross overreaction because, listen, I know his value is probably the greatest of all time because there's never been a guy who could pitch at this level that he's pitched at and hit at the level that he's hitting at. But my argument against him being the greatest player of all time, I don't even think he's top 5. I don't even know if he's top 10 yet all time. Because when you look at him as a pitcher, there's probably about 10 to 15 pitchers I would take before I take Shohei Ohtani. And when you look at him as an offensive player, there's probably about 10 to 15 guys you would take offensively before you take Shohei Ohtani. So are you in the boat that Shohei Ohtani is one of the greatest players of all time? Top 10, even? Maybe top 5?
Not yet. I mean, we're talking about a guy who had Tommy John surgery twice. You're going to have to show me a little bit more. I mean, these are the same people who wanted to jump on and say Patrick Mahomes was the best quarterback of all time. Not really working out right now in that department either. I mean, people keep saying he wins. Okay, great. He's not the best quarterback in the league anymore. He isn't. I'm sure a lot of people would say, oh yeah, but I'd take him over anybody. Yeah, whatever. We could talk about that a little later. When it comes to stats and the way he's playing, not very good. He had a clunker of a Super Bowl, and Shohei Ohtani right now hasn't put together the seasons and he's missed a lot of time. He hasn't put together the seasons that I would say a top 10 player could do. I mean, in a microcosm, in some seasons, in some games, has he done things that no other player has done? That goes without saying. I think he's amazing. I think if he stays healthy and he plays like this, he's going to be the best player ever, or one of them, or a top 5 player. But we have to get there. Like, can't we just get there? Why do we always have to do this? Plus, I'm sorry to bring this up and be so negative. He bet on baseball. Like he did.
Allegedly.
You got class A.
Allegedly.
And with the Indians, who was a good closer and an all-star. He was a good closer and an all-star, but he was betting. He was gambling. There's another player, I forget his name. We can talk more about this next week because I definitely want to talk about this. Who's kicked out of baseball? I think Class A is kicked out of baseball as well.
There's a report that he's never going to pitch in Major League Baseball. Ever.
Yeah, he's never going to pitch again in Major League Baseball. And I mean, if anybody really peered in what was happening to Ohtani, I mean, I think he may not play baseball ever again. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if anybody's done that investigation or wants to. And I know that we're not supposed to bring this up, but I hate to say the thing that no one else is saying. Yeah, he's the greatest player ever, but what was going on with that? And
I mean, look, there's a lot of players throughout time in all sports that we look past their discretions because of how great they were on the field. I mean, the biggest one that I bring up every single time that we look past the discretion is Ray Lewis. You get what I mean? Like we look past Ray Lewis, one of the greatest middle linebackers of all time. Ray Lewis is a Hall of Fame football player. Ray Lewis was fantastic on the football field. Ray Lewis had a dead body in his trunk. And people don't talk about that part, right? Like, so I understand the transgression part of it. That's a completely different side of things. Like and we'll get into that. I mean, I'm not afraid to dive into it, and we will get into that. But the overreaction, I mean, yes, greatest single game performance of all time in the playoffs. 10 strikeouts and 3 home runs. I mean, greatest performance of all time in a playoff game. Then nobody's going to argue that. Greatest of all time. Let me ask you a question. If you're going into Game 7 tonight, and this is for the fans in the chat too. Let us know in the chat. I see we got plenty of people watching us right now on Twitter and on YouTube. If you are in Game 7, 2 outs, winning run is on second base, do you want Shohei Ohtani at the dish, or do you want David Ortiz at the dish?
I probably want David Ortiz, and I probably want Barry Bonds too.
10 times out of 10.
There might even be some right-handed hitters I want at the division, depending on who's pitching. There's probably Manny Ramirez, Frank Thomas. There's some right-handed hitters in there that I dish. Yeah, Mickey Mantle, switch hitter. So that's even better one. Probably. That's a good point. I probably want someone else pitching as well, even though he's a great pitcher. I'm not saying he's not. When he's at the top of his game, he's one of the better pitchers in baseball, but there's a lot of pitchers I'd rather have. I'd rather have Tarek Skubal any day of the week. I'd rather have Garrett Crochet. There's a lot of pitchers I'd rather have pitching there. Maybe Chris Sale if he's healthy.
Martinez.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just talking players that are playing right now. If you can name players that are playing right now, yeah. And I get your argument. He does this for another 5 years. He's in that top 10 conversation. He's in that top 5 conversation.
Sure.
But he hasn't done it yet, and he's been injury prone. Like that. I don't really
3 home runs. He was hitting 150 in the playoffs. So let's calm down.
Yeah. No one wants to calm down.
In top 10 all day.
Literally half the country, maybe more, is on meth. So, I mean, you have to take that into account anytime you listen to some of these people like overreact over anything. You know what? I've done it too. I mean, listen to the intro where I say that that Caleb Williams could possibly only be as good as Justin Fields. I mean, I have done it, but I don't think I've done that on a player. I'm about large sample sizes as well as, and when we're talking about the best baseball players of all time, now you're starting to piss me off. I don't like the Hall of Fame conversation, but best players ever in baseball, you starting to piss off my sensibilities.
Well, first of all, the Hall of Fame is a joke. Baseball Hall of Fame is a joke. Until Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and a lot of those players in the steroid era are in the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame's a joke. And for two, first of all, let me clarify something. When you say you've done it before, you're talking about crazy hot takes, not meth, right?
What? Wait, crazy hot takes or meth?
Yeah, you're not talking when you say you've done it before. You're not talking about meth. You're talking about you've had crazy
hot takes.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
I have not done meth. I have not done meth. Right. No,
I was just making sure.
But you know what? It's hard. It's hard to say because I have taken an Adderall before. If we're gonna go down this road, and Adderall is one molecule away from being meth. So if that's what we want to talk about,
let's not. No, moving on.
Maybe if you want to clip this out, maybe I have done meth. Jeremiah Moran thought he said he has done meth. I have not done meth. No, I've been offered it.
So
we all need to know that.
Yeah, it's a gross overreaction.
Players have done meth, by the way. A lot of baseball players take methamphetamine still.
Yeah.
Julian Tooley, Ryan, stop. You can't.
Yeah. I can't.
I do this show. You're getting me 100%, baby.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Look, it's a gross overreaction. Let's calm down on it a little bit. Yes, was it a great game? Was it fun to watch? Absolutely, 110%. And you might not ever see it again, right? And then again, you might. Who knows? But just a gross overreaction. Stop talking about Shohei Ohtani as one of the greatest players of all time, because he's just not there yet. He might be at someday, but he's just not there yet.
I honestly couldn't agree with you more. This is probably the most I've agreed with you. Now let's get on to football. I want to disagree with you again.
Coach Ben Johnson chiming in, half hour before kickoff. Says,
Give me my flowers.
Well, before we talk Bears and before we get into that, let's talk about some more stuff, maybe surrounded by meth. Are you ready for Fitz gibberish?
Yes! It's a diatribe, it's conspiracy theory, and it's an island in the middle of unapologetic and sometimes inaccurate meth-fueled sports talk, I suppose. It's Fitz gibberish. And yes, Troy, one too many concussions Aikman made news this week around the football world for what I thought were all the wrong reasons. First were his comments about Caleb Williams, who did narrowly outplay Jaden Daniels. But if you listen to the broadcast alone, you got a much different take. It was as if Jaden Daniels was Luke Skywalker and Caleb Williams was Jar Jar Binks. I know that's kind of an old reference there, but I think some people remember it anyway. But that did not piss me off. When asked about Aikman's comments, Ben Johnson said, "In this league, you have to gain respect." And I agree with Ben Johnson there. When DeAndre Swift turned a screen pass into an incredible game-changing play, this is how Aikman reacted.
As open as he is, and then you make one guy miss, and now with his speed, he's off to the races. So just some luck on Chicago's part. It really.
Aikman, yes. No, that did not piss me off, even though it's like the ball was tipped in the air and landed in Swift's hands like a Hail Mary pass from Jaden Daniels 1 year ago, or the Jaden Daniels pass that landed in a wide open Luke McCaffrey's hands just 10 minutes before that Swift play. Maybe I did get a little pissed off. Anyway, even the storyline announcing that Buck and Aikman employ, where they completely ignore what's going on in the game and stick to the pre-rehearsed psychobabble that's overproduced. That doesn't even really bother me, because in the pantheon of bad football broadcast announcers, they're actually pretty good. I mean, in last year's playoffs, I heard Tony Romo get into an argument with himself during the broadcast and lose. In fact, I'm not sure that's even Tony Romo anymore. I mean, stories are legendary of other football broadcasters like Pat Summerall's drunkenness and him drinking a whole bottle of Crown Royal during Giants games and having to be carried out of the box at the old Meadowlands Stadium. And you have to sit back in awe at the amount of arguments that surely had to be taking place on behalf of Dick Stockton by his agent to keep him employed. This is Dick Stockton during a Jaguars game a few years back.
On the Visa halftime report, Kurt Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony look on graphic for the final 2 bullet points.
Yeah, he's reading the parentheses of the broadcast. Look on graphic. Anyway, the point being, NFL broadcasters are the worst out of any sport I have ever seen. The best boosts ever could barely hold a candle to the worst baseball boosts. John Madden might be the best of the bunch, probably, when it comes to color analysis. And even though he never did color baseball, doppelganger Harry Carey was worlds ahead of Madden in my mind, and Summerall, and even probably Al Michaels. Well, why is that? I think it's because football knows one thing. America. Talking to you, and American men mostly, which I am one. We are all prostitutes for the NFL. And you are going to sit there and you're going to take it, or you are not going to get what you want. That's also why the officiating is so bad, and it's never going to get any better. And that's Fitz gibberish. Combs.
Yeah, so I'm looking for this this thing that there it is. All right. I'm gonna pull it up here and I'm gonna show you something. We sometimes talk too much about like some of these players that are on a microphone, right? Like Troy Aikman, he's okay most of the time, but there's just sometimes where you're just like, he doesn't like Caleb Williams because Caleb Williams missed a lunch with or a meeting with him or something like that, and all of a sudden it feeds into their thing. Tony Romo, I don't know, Jim. I don't know. It looks like it might be okay. I don't know, Jim. He just wants to be the smartest guy in there. He drives me absolutely nuts.
Talk to the fans of the game. Like, stop talking to Jim Nantz.
Tom Brady, and stop interrupting Jim Nantz's great calls because you want to get your voice out there.
Yeah,
Tony Romo is maybe one of the worst. Tom Brady's been pretty bad on the mic. I've not been a big fan of Tom Brady. Some of these guys, though, like Tony Romo, who's the idiot on ESPN, who ran the ball out of bounds when he was a quarterback in the end zone and didn't know he was out of bounds running away from a defender. Dan Orlovsky, right?
Yes.
And we let them. We're taking these guys. These guys played the game and they should know what good quarterback. They didn't know what good quarterback play was when they were playing.
Yeah, and they're just so bad. And week in and week out, it's like these football announcers. I mean, these are the most watched games in sports.
And Troy Aikman
broadcasts are terrible.
Troy Aikman might be one of the most overrated quarterbacks of all time because, yes, I know he won Super Bowls, but the teams that he were on was amazing. And that's why I have this graphic here.
Troy Aikman compared to Ryan Tannehill, by the way.
And Ryan Tannehill is ahead in every stat, except for games played and quarterback record. Every stat, Ryan Tannehill was a better quarterback.
We can't see this, but Aikman in his first 20-something games, way worse than Caleb Williams. Different NFL, but still.
Very much so, in a different time. I mean, but Tannehill also played on a Titans team that would rather run the ball down by 21 with Derrick Henry than put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands. I mean, how many times did we see that when that Tennessee Titans team was down in the second half by 14 or more, and they were handing the ball off? And a lot. I remember 3 times watching Derrick Henry actually bring them back to win games. He's not.
Doubting Thomas says, and I don't even know what his profile picture is. Is that Willy Wonka and the chocolate? I don't even. It's what?
Circus, maybe?
I don't know. His mind is sick. Anyway, Tony Romo went to Eastern. It's not exactly a genius factory.
Yeah.
I went to Eastern. That's why.
I mean, his point's proven. His point's proven.
I'm going to punch you in the throat. You want me to do the post-game show? Okay. Jeremiah Murray, I failed out of Eastern. I'm going to go ahead and start the car in the garage now. Oh boy. I hope you're not in that garage.
Yeah. It's bandwagon. It's the last chance to get on.
Yeah, I'm still not on the bandwagon. I know everybody is waiting for this, including you. And we could start the argument if you want to. I'm still not on the Bears bandwagon because they win the turnover. They have 3 turnovers and then 4 turnovers against 2 teams, and they win by 1 point. I'm not jumping on the Bears bandwagon because of that. It's not happening. Benedict is not the next Jimbo Covert. He's not the next Orlando Pace. He's not the next Anthony Munoz. No, it's not happening. The run game isn't going to look. DeAndre Swift ran all over the Washington Commanders last year. So it's not this crazy Ben Johnson's a genius thing yet. Yes, they scored a lot of points, but they're getting 3 to 4 turnovers a game. They better score over 20 points.
They do. They average 25 points a game.
They better. I mean, they better if they're going to get that many. If they're going to play Dallas and they're going to get all these turnovers against these teams, they better score over 20 points. I mean, almost any team's going to score over 20 points with 3 or 4 turnovers by their defense.
And if they lose these games, you're killing them. If they lose these games, you're killing them. So you have to have that happy medium where it's hey, you know what? This team is better than I thought they were going to be. This team is winning games, regardless of how they're winning them, whether it's defense is turning the ball over and then the offense is turning that into points, and whether or not it's Ben Johnson getting in his bag, whatever the case is, you can't have it both ways. You can't be the guy that come the NFC Championship game, if the Bears were to make an NFC Championship game, be like, oh, you know, they've just lucked out. Their schedule, you know, they haven't played anybody yet. Both quarterbacks have been hurt. They've done it. Stop. Enjoy the damn victories. Enjoy the wins. And you know what? Today, if they beat New Orleans, you're going to say, oh, it's just a New Orleans team. And then if they go out next week and they beat Lamar and they beat the Ravens, and you're like, oh, well, you know, this defense has been terrible. They're 1-7. This team's not very good anyway. And then if they go and beat the Bengals, well, they don't have Joe Burrow. You know, it's Joe Flacco in the year 2025. You know, you're now all of a sudden you're looking at a team and there's nothing you can do to enjoy any of their victories.
I can enjoy the game and still not act like someone who moved to Michigan 6 years ago and thinks that everything that came out of Michigan is great. I can enjoy the game without acting like someone who took a bunch of meth and gets all excited about everything. Dave Lauren, by the way, says, let's talk meth. Anyway, I can do that. I can enjoy the game. I was screaming and yelling when Moody made the kick. You guys have an ad bot on here. Looks like you've made it. And we're probably going to get kicked off of YouTube because of me too. So,
we're going to kick off a lot of things because of you.
Maybe. I'm not trying. I'm really not. I'm trying to be good.
You are good.
I could be happy about the win. I was jumping up and down and still be critical of this team that had trouble scoring points off of turnovers and is having a lot of trouble scoring points off of turnovers they keep getting from a defense that's playing some pretty decent football now after, you know, some stumbles. Now that Dennis Allen kind of sees what he has, and Montez Sweat is starting to look like maybe a real defensive end. Maybe he was hurt in the beginning of the season. I don't know.
You keep saying that they're having trouble scoring points. They are 10th in points per game in the NFL right now. They are averaging 25 points a game. 20 points if you take out points off of turnovers per game, because they average 5 points on turnovers. You can't look at this team. The only team in the NFL, by the way, that in every single one of their games this season has scored 21 or more points. You can't look at this team and talk about how they're struggling to score the ball, because they're not.
Yes, I can. They're actually struggling to score touchdowns off some of these turnovers. They had a lot of field goals in that game where they should have probably. And one field goal, granted, was because Theo Benedict was somehow lined up wrong when he wasn't lined up wrong, which is one of the worst calls. It's a really bad call because it's not a call that happened in a split second. It's a call where it's before the ball is hiked. So you have 5-6 seconds to figure out whether you're going to throw a flag, and it's on second down on a second down and goal play, which it's like, why? I didn't get that call. That was, or no, I think it was a 3rd down and goal play in a game that's pretty good. And those refs interjected themselves into the game way too much. A lot of calls went to the Commanders' way, but I mean, I guess that happens, but I don't know what my point was. But anyway, maybe I just wanted to mention the refs.
A lot of bad officiating in the NFL, and so you kind of have to get past that, because there's going to be bad calls in every game, and sometimes they even.
Man.
No, I agree. It was a terrible call.
First down at the 25-yard line in the first quarter. You don't call that in the 3rd quarter on 3rd and goal.
Yeah,
and it's a beautiful pass and catch. It's like what?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. It is a ticky-tack call. There's been a lot of ticky-tack stuff. I've seen ticky-tack. Even the Montez Sweat roughing the passer call was to get. I mean, the guy's coming down. He put his hand up. His hand grazes the face mask, and you know, Jaden Daniels sells it. But it just, I mean, it had nothing to do with the play whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. And then I saw one the other day where I think it was on Thursday Night Football, where as the pass is being thrown, the quarterback's being tackled. I believe it was Flacco was being tackled. He throws the ball away and he gets a roughing the passer call. The guy didn't even land on him, didn't do anything, just roughing the passer just because it's roughing the pass. Stop, man. The NFL officiating has gotten so bad.
It is, and they don't even seem to care. They kind of have it's almost like baseball's taking over football now. It's just like they don't even care. It gets worse every year, and the actual rules get way worse every year, especially for the defense, where it's, I mean, it's getting to the point where it's hard to watch some of these games where a lot where the referees are interjected way too much into these games, especially and Jeremiah brings up the phantom face masks and the offensive pass interference, the one on Colson Loveland where the defender's retreating, and they're calling that a lot this year, where it's just they're really bad calls.
Yeah. There was one in this game, in the Rams-Jags game, where would they call a pass interference, and I'm like, both players had a hold of each other's jersey, and you're going to call one but not call the other. Well, it's the same exact play, 2 players doing the same exact thing. How was that a penalty on one but not a penalty on the other?
Yeah,
like it just doesn't make sense. And those are the things that the NFL should clean up. But the NFL, look, at the end of the day, all of these leagues, NFL, Major League Baseball, with their strike zones and how bad their officiating is in the last 30 years or so, you're looking at this at the officiating. The leagues don't care. They're making money. They don't care how bad the officiating is.
Dave Loring, I feel like gambling has a lot to do with it, with these bad calls. You want to get the hat on? You want to get the hat on? Weird Al, get your hat on, Mr. Combs.
You kind of have to. For a long time, Dave, I have been a big proponent of, when you see these bad calls, look at the money. Where is the money at? Because a very good percentage of the time, if the money is on the over or the money is on the under, a lot of times, more times than it should, a penalty does affect that. In one way or the other, 9 times out of 10, it affects the way of Vegas. Just saying. I'm not saying that there's a thing.
That it helps. It's helping Vegas, is what you're saying. A lot more money. Let's say a lot more money is on the Bears.
Correct.
To beat, to overcome the spread today against the Saints, which isn't very large.
But
which is a little weird, but
if there is a chance on a penalty or a way that an official can, without changing the outcome of a game, which they almost did in that Bears game, by the way, without it changing the outcome of a game, you look at the over and the under and the spread, and if you can alter that with a penalty call, 9 times out of 10, there's a penalty called. And it's wild. It's
The weather
very
sucks
wild.
awful, which I do at least want to mention. The field today.
Well, let's talk about the games. Let's go into the games. Let's do our picks because we got kickoff here in about just under 10 minutes.
Jeremiah does say it's been that way in basketball for years.
Well, they've also been in trouble how many times?
And trouble again with a huge gambling scandal that we talked about, a few months ago.
Yeah.
A great article in Sports Illustrated. Great investigative article. Anyway, let's go to the games. We were supposed to invite a fan on, and we didn't again.
Look, I'm blaming you.
Yeah, I'm blaming myself. It was my idea.
This is your thing.
It's my idea. Anyway, we'll have Doubting Thomas.
You don't want Doubting Thomas on.
I really don't, but it's my bad. It's a quick week, quick turnaround. Anyway, here we go. Sunday, October 19th. Yes. Thank you. The Los Angeles Vegas Raiders are going into Kansas City. Kansas City's 3-3. Kansas City is minus 12.5. This betting opened up at minus 10.5. Kansas City Chiefs against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll give it to you, Combs, for the first pick.
I don't know this is a huge spread, and I normally don't take these types of spreads. I normally don't like anything more than 10 points in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But Patrick Mahomes, man, in 14 games against the Raiders in his career, has a passer rating of 106.4 with 4,141 yards passing and 33 touchdowns. I think Mahomes throws for over 3 touchdowns today. I think Mahomes goes off today. I think they got Rashee Rice back. Everything is leaning to this being a Chiefs huge Chiefs game. I'm going to take the Chiefs, and I'm going to give up the 12 points in this game.
I have to agree with you here. I mean, the Raiders lost to the Colts 40-6 last week. I think things are starting to crumble for Pete Carroll over there in Vegas. Moving on. Your Miami Dolphins against the Cleveland Browns in the Bad Bowl in Cleveland. Cleveland's minus 2.5. I'm going to go against my Dolphins and say Cleveland wins this one, just outright. At minus 2.5, I think with their defense, a lot of players out on Miami's offense. What you think?
Is a storm brewing in Cleveland. Supposedly, there's going to be wind gusts of over 58 to 65 miles an hour in this game. It's supposed to be some rain at some point in this game. I think Quinshon Judkins has a huge day, and I don't know how the Dolphins are going to move the ball. That Browns defense, their run defense is really, really good. And I don't know how you pass in wins like that. If that is indeed the case, I'm going to take the Browns. I'll give up the 2.5 as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. Moving on. Tennessee Titans, your sons, juniors, New England Patriots goes into what I think is the worst team in the league, the Tennessee Titans, who might pick up Matt Nagy. Tennessee's at plus 6.5 at home against the New England Patriots. What? Well, I'll go first. I'm going to take the New England Patriots in this one. I think they've been pretty good, and I think the Titans stink. But go ahead, Mr. Combs.
Teams that have fired their coach since 2010.
Here we go.
Since 2010 are 20-13 against the spread in that same week. 20-13 against the spread after firing their head coach.
Makes sense.
Mike Vrabel wants to beat the shit out of the Titans. And I think Mike Vrabel is going to be able to do just that. I think this team plays hard for Vrabel. I think this Patriots team is better than I thought they were at the beginning of the season. And Junior might be right. They might win 12 games. Give me the Patriots. I'll give up the 7.
Whoa! Junior might be right. Cut that up. All right. Here we go. Yeah, I agree with you there too. Wow. Wasn't I 9-2 last week, by the way? Anyway, moving on. Your real Carolina Panthers going in against the New York Jets. Justin Fields still the quarterback of the New York Jets. New York Jets are plus 1.5 at home against the Carolina Panthers. Did not think I would be saying that in week 7.
Yeah.
You want me to go first? You go first.
It don't matter. I'll take the Panthers. I like the Panthers in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Jets. I think the Jets are due. At 0-7, I still think Aaron Glenn is a pretty good coach. I'm going to take the Jets one more time. Just one time.
On the Jets today.
Yeah, just one more time. Anyway, moving on to Chicago. Like my older brother Johnny said, we're going to have some bad weather today. We do have bad weather. It is raining. I'm looking out the window right now. Going into Chicago, New Orleans Saints, Spencer Rattler. And he looked kind of like an albino, but anyway, he's been okay this year, actually. New Orleans Saints have played some teams pretty tough. Going to the Bears are minus 3.5 at home. I'm on the Bears today. I think the Bears win by a touchdown. I don't think the Bears win.
That's my damn coach, baby.
Ben Johnson.
That's my damn coach.
I'm not saying he is, but he might be on meth. Jeremiah has the Bears beat the Saints 45-23.
Bears 112. Saints, -3. Ben Johnson finds a way. Let's go. Bear down, baby. Give me the Bears all day.
All right. We all got a Bears victories. Wow.
They're going to lose by 7.
And the Philadelphia Eagles, who have come down to earth a little bit, who are now 4-2 against the Minnesota Vikings, the Carson Wentz Minnesota Vikings at plus 2.5 at home. The Minnesota Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you got, Combsy?
Oh, give me the Vikings. This Eagles offense has been broken all season long, and I don't know how you get better against the stingy Vikings pass rush. I just think the Vikings find a way, man. I think the Vikings get it done.
Yeah, and I think I do agree. Saquon Barkley doesn't look like the same running back. I don't know if there's something wrong there. I don't know if it's blocking scheme. I haven't really gone into it that much, but he hasn't been the same running back. But I'm still taking Philly here. I don't really believe Minnesota is that good. I don't. Other than one quarter against
Philly in a bloodbath.
They're 2-3 if they don't have one good quarter against the Bears. I mean, I don't know.
Dave says 24-21 Bears.
Not covering the spread. He does not have him covering the spread.
John says, shut up, Dave.
Shut up, Dave. Wow. We're going to kill each other. I think the comments getting hot. They're usually against us. Let them fight each other.
That's
much better. Much better. Anyway, moving on to Los Angeles. Scott, I wish I was in Los Angeles. I don't know.
You wish you were in long ass? What?
Yeah. Los Angeles today with a rainy day here. Anyway, the Los Angeles Chargers against the surprising Indianapolis Colts. The Los Angeles Chargers are minus 2.5. I'm going to take the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh in this one, covering the minus 2.5. Who you got, Combsy?
Dave Lauren.
You got Dave Lauren?
He says, be a man, do meth.
Oh my God.
So, which game we on?
Oh my God. The Los Angeles Chargers against the Indianapolis Colts. I got the Chargers. What say ye?
I am also on the Chargers in this game. Chargers are going to win this game, and I think they win this one big. I think the Colts are due for a setback. I think it happens this big. I think Quentin Johnston has a big game. Nope.
You're just rooting for him because you said he was going to be good like 3 years ago.
Just saying.
Okay, keep on moving on. New York Giants going into Denver Denver at -7.5 at home against the New York Giants, who surprised those Philadelphia Eagles we just talked about last week, beating up on the Eagles. I'll say first, I got the New York Giants not winning but covering the spread here. What say ye? Because they got a pretty good defense. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you watching something else? Like, what the hell?
There's nothing else on right now.
You're like a child that walked in the middle of a movie and now is asking me what is happening with the plot line. And now I have to explain to you the entire plot line of a movie you're not even going to watch anyway.
I'm watching the back and forth in the chat. It's been kind of amusing. But no, I like the Giants keep this one close. They keep finding ways to keep these games.
Shomer Shavish.
They're a team against the spread that you're gonna like quite a bit moving up. Now this Broncos defense is really good, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos win this one by 8. But I'm gonna take the Giants in the points.
Wow, we agree again. Moving on. The Green Bay Packers go into the Arizona Cardinals, who you hate, but the Arizona Cardinals are +6.5 at home. +6.5 at home. Do we got Jacoby Brisker again this week, or
yes,
Brissett?
Yep.
Boy.
Did you just miss up Jacoby Brissett and Jaquan Brisker?
Well, that was a very intelligent joke about Jaquan Brisker's concussions. Did that work?
Oh my God.
Julian says, as a non-Giants fan, I love Dart and Scattaboo. I do like Scattaboo, and you could have gotten him in the 4th round.
I'm taking the Packers in this one at -6.5. I don't like it. I don't love this number because. Look, LaFleur, as good of a coach as I think that he is, he just doesn't he is not a guy who will step on your throat when he should step on your throat. He's not a guy that can put you down the way that a team should put you down. And this Packers team should put this Cardinals team down. I just don't know if they will, but if I have to take the pick, I'm taking the Packers because I can't do it with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I can't do it with the Cardinals either. They got a lot of injuries to their running backs too. And yeah, I mean, right now, I'm going to have to take the Packers in this game covering the spread. I think it's going to be close when it comes to the spread, but I still think they cover. Moving on, the Washington Commanders, after losing to your Chicago Bears, are going into Dallas. Dallas is -1.5 at home. In this one, Dallas at 2-3, Washington Commanders at 3-3. I'll pick first. I'm going to take the Commanders in this one. I still don't believe at all in Dallas. I think that defense is terrible. Who's their defensive coordinator again?
Matt Eberflus.
Yes. What say ye?
Matt Eberflus with the terrible defense who saved his job 3 years ago with the Chicago Bears. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. There's no weapons for the Commanders. Deebo Samuel's out. Noah Brown's out again. They've got Terry McLaurin's out again. And the Cowboys are getting CD Lamb back today. So I think that this offense is clicking on all cylinders. I think they are going to beat the hell out of the Commanders. I don't think the Commanders are that good. So I'll take the Cowboys. I'll give up the 1.5.
I don't think the Commanders are that good either. I just think the Dallas Cowboys are that bad. Julianne comes on and says, I don't like agreeing with you, Brandon. It's weird. It is. I know it's weird. Sometimes I have to deal with it every once in a while, Julianne, during the show. And it's gives me a sick feeling inside. Feels like I have to get tested for an STD. Anyway, moving on. We go into San Francisco. The surprising Atlanta Falcons, another surprising team at 3-2, goes into San Francisco. San Francisco is only -1.5 in this game against the Atlanta Falcons, which that's another surprising spread for me. What say ye, Mr. Combsy?
I say Caleb Williams almost threw a interception to.
There we go. We're announcing
end right off. Well, we're into the Bears game, At first play, they go for a screen, which I don't know why this offense in their screens. I don't get it. But he almost throws an interception to Young coming off the edge. I don't know why you would do that. Falcons, Niners. This is going to be such a good game. I'm going to take the Niners to cover the 1.5, though.
Yeah, me too. Moving on, Monday Night Football. Both 2 games because we needed to have 2 games on Monday for some reason, whatever. Tampa Bay goes into the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are -5.5 at home, -5.5 at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Probably my favorite team in the league, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. I'll do the pick here. It's tough, but I mean, this is a tough game to call, but I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've been on them all season long, and they've been doing pretty good for me. What happened in the game? Just say it, you child.
No, I'm not even was actually looking at the Buccaneers injury report, which I think every wide receiver in their organization is on. But somehow, some way,
Baker Mayfield
finds a way, dude. He's just so damn good.
Is he MVP this year?
Yeah. And as long as he stays healthy, man, he's 4 fourth quarter comebacks already. Like,
jeez.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with it. I'm gonna go with the Bucks +5.5 as well.
Yeah. And last game of the week, the Houston Texans at 2-3 against the surprising Seattle Seahawks. So I said last week, Sam Darnold might actually make another Pro Bowl. Seattle Seahawks are -3.5 in this game against the Houston Texans, who haven't had a great year so far. What say ye, Mr. Combs?
I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. I think the Texans are getting better week by week. And I think that the Seahawks aren't as good as they've played. Their defense is still pretty damn good. But I think CJ Stroud, this offense is starting to get healthy. They're starting to get players back. I think that the Texans are going to win this game outright.
I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. I think Sam Darnold's looked pretty good in this offense. He's looking better every week. I think they actually beat the Texans outright in this game. And well, they have to cover the spread, I guess. But Keyshawn is on the injury report. I guess he was talking about Tampa Bay. Keyshawn Johnson played for the Buccaneers in about 25 years. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Everybody is on that.
And then Jeremiah says fumble.
Yeah, the Bears recover a fumble, it looks like, and there goes, but so it doesn't, if the Bears win this game, I mean, they're not good because they got a turnover.
Oh God, here we go.
So
you can't win the turnover battle by 3 and 4 turnovers and win by 1 point and say you're a great team or a good team.
Who said they're great?
I changed it to good. I'm not having a good day. I don't think this whole broadcasting. I don't think this broadcasting thing's gonna work out.
Sometimes inaccurate sports talk. All right.
Yeah, it's been a pretty inaccurate day for me.
We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go watch the Bears game. We're gonna come back after the game for a post game show.
Is that a question?
So it kind of was because I don't know if you had answered me on whether or not you're available for the.
I'm playing hard to get.
But either way, I'll be here for the post-game show. Maybe or maybe not. I'll be joined by my co-host of Combs and Fitz Windy City Sports Talk, Ryan Fitzgibbons. All right, we're going to get out of here for now. You guys enjoy the games, whatever game you're watching. Jules, I know you're probably watching the Packers instead of the Bears. I don't know why.
Oh, God.
You probably are. But until next week, actually 3 hours from now, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. Have a good weekend.